Hello everyone and welcome your ears back to the Real Talk podcast. Of course, it is the Halloween special and you're with me, Sam, and of course the one and only...
Thank God the only, Harvey.
Yay.
Yay. I just farted, by the way. Just thought I'd share that with you.
Nice.
Nice. Well, this week's episode, we've got a sort of script. Well, you've got a script. And, yeah. And I thought, I haven't got a script, so I've got nothing to follow, so...
No, it's just me. But that's just fine.
That's fine. I go on script a lot.
We are trying to try a new structure to the podcast before we go in, like, deep diving into everything. We are trying a new structure. We're going to ease ourselves into it, make it seem more professional, even though it's probably going to take us the same amount of number of takes.
Yeah.
And attempts, but we're going to make it a bit more professional. I know myself personally going to put a lot more time into it. So we are getting this episode as well. We are getting there, ladies and gentlemen. I promise.
He's editing this episode. Like I just said, he's editing the episode. And, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a special episode. Like I said, this is the Halloween special. Happy Halloween, blah, blah, blah. But this is so special because this actually holds a world record, I think, for the most retakes ever on a recording of a podcast. How many times?
I think it was
We did 4 yesterday, and then this is our third attempt now.
Today, yeah.
The 7 takes. Yeah, we've had so many technical issues, internet and microphones and stuff.
And a very long 2.5 hour meeting with a client. Which was great, by the way. It was a really good meeting.
Yes, just in case he's listening.
I'm not slating it off at all. It was just a very long meeting, which he said as well. It was a very long meeting.
Yes, Have you ever been in meetings that you have no idea what they're talking about?
Yeah, half of the one I just was in.
Yeah, I've been in a meeting. I was like, I don't know. It was like, Harvey, are you going to say anything? No, because I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
I have no idea. Right. Anyway, so this Halloween. So Sam, what's coming up in today's episode?
Wow. Harvo Entertainment. Harvey Wood. Hey, aka Woodlander.
Yes, hashtag Woodlanders, thank you very much.
Oh, that was horrible. I felt really uncomfortable doing that. It actually made me like twitch.
Well, I twitch.
No, today, of course, it's a... no, I don't mean weird me saying it.
No, I don't mean Twitch as in streaming Twitch. I meant physically. I have a physical Twitch, which has led to some hit. Do you know what? A friend of ours, should we say, actually took a slow motion video of me having a Twitch, and it's given us such enjoyment whenever we're sad, just to watch it, just to see me have a tick in slow motion.
Nice. Yeah, so it's a Halloween special. We were going to go kind of down the same old route of copying every other podcast and podcaster around by doing some sort of horror story thing, which we probably are going to do
one day.
I haven't planned for us to do it one day yet, but today we're just going to talk about Halloween subjects, spooky subjects, our biggest fears, our funniest Halloween moments, because we're both not very paranormal people, are we? Really?
No.
So yeah, we're gonna...
Sorry,
okay?
you can't see Sam now, obviously, but he is. I'm looking at him on a call, and he is standing like a radio presenter. And you just did the radio presenter sway.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. You just did the radio presenter.
I'm natural, mate.
not gonna lie, I have been guilty of doing that myself, but
yeah, it must just mean it's a natural thing. I'm doing it now. I know I'm even doing it now.
Now you know you're doing it.
Yeah, now I know I'm doing it. I'm leaning now because I don't want to keep doing it. Basically, I'm standing up. I'm standing up and I don't normally stand.
No.
Oh, that's me. I don't know what to do now.
Well, hopefully when we become a professional podcast, well, we are a professional podcast, when this, like, the setup becomes more professional, we're not doing this over Zoom, which will be in about 50 years probably, because, you know, you live 4.5 hours away from me. You know, we'll stand up anyway and do the sway. My train of thought went halfway through that sentence.
You know, we'll probably get an office soon. I know we probably said that in about every episode so far.
Yeah.
We just can't at the moment. We
because there's a thing called
we're in
COVID.
completely. Yeah, we're in. I think it's all right because most people doing podcasts can because they're kind of from the same area, whereas we're from two completely different counties. So it's not even like we live far away, but in the part of the same like part of Hampshire.
No. Well, we're not from different counties, right? Were you born in Hampshire?
Yeah. But we're from currently.
We live currently in different. Yeah. I'm
so
Hampshire.
Our rules are very different.
Yes. I've only just learned the two things. So yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Anyway, yeah, so tonight's episode, or today's episode, I don't know when you're listening to this, we have got some spooky things that we're just going to talk about. We're not going to be going through some stories, we're just going to have a general chit-chat. Speak about some Halloween-y things. It's a fun episode, but I'm buzzing to get this little spooky episode out. We tricked you by saying we didn't have an episode. And I can say I was really proud of my post.
I can't remember it.
Saying that we tricked you.
That was last week's episode.
Oh, was it? Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'll retweet it now, because by the time this goes up, it'll be for this episode as well.
It was yes, it'll be about, yes. By the way, I should explain something. Because of Samsung meeting, we're recording this later than usual. And my sleep pattern, because of lockdown, has been crap. And I am half asleep recording this podcast, so I'm probably not going to speak as much, which I know is a common complaint. When I say a common complaint, I mean that's my mother's complaint. That just like, shut up and let Sam speak.
I really appreciate that your mum watches this. Thanks, Karen.
She doesn't.
Oh.
The reason she said that and the reason she listened was because I forced her to listen. I was like, look, I'm on Spotify, and pressed play. I went, look. And I just stayed there.
You talk too much, Harvey.
And then she went, all right, shut up. Get on with it.
I don't care.
No, she doesn't care. She doesn't care about any of my stuff.
She cares about me.
She does, actually. But I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah. That sounds a lot weirder than what it could be.
It is a lot weirder than it could be.
Yeah.
Moving on before I get into trouble.
Yeah, that's all right. You won't get into trouble. Yeah. So no ghost stories tonight, guys. No ghost stories before you do that. If you do want to listen to ghost stories, piss off.
Or
because you're not going to get it from here. Or actually, listen to this one. Or
listen to episode 2 of the Real Talk Podcast Conspiracy Theories, because we talk about ghosts in there.
We do talk about ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah. We've had quite a spooky month, haven't we? I think we started in quite a good year for podcasts, I think.
Because we've had stuff to talk about. Because it's been but we've not actually done an episode, and we will not be doing an episode on COVID in general, because but yes.
No one wants that anymore, do they?
It's like no one wanted it in the first place.
No, that's true. No one did.
I don't think there's any YouTube channel called the COVID. I don't like people who just make something just because of a trend. Like there's YouTube channels called Pokemon Go. Do you think they're doing well at the moment? No.
Well, what is this trend with Pokemon cards at the moment? I've noticed every single YouTuber is doing it. Suddenly they've got £30,000 worth of Pokemon cards, which they've had in a shoebox for 30 years or something ridiculous.
I've no idea. I've got Pokemon cards buried somewhere, but I
Can you remember Go Crazy Loads?
I've still got mine. I found them.
Yeah,
the other day
I've still got mine as well.
Oh, that would make a great. Well, no, that would make an awful video.
Yeah, it would. I can't remember what was you supposed to do? Just flick them and then knock someone down, wouldn't you? And then you could keep it if you knocked it down, right?
Yeah, I think so. And you traded them. I think it was like a collective thing. I can't remember.
Yeah, you put your shinies at the back, didn't you?
Yeah, that's
because you didn't want to lose
shinies.
them.
Shinies Pokemon. I think.
You had shinies and Go-Go's because you had those glittery things.
Do you have any phobias, Sam? That's what we like to call a segue in the business.
Yeah, well...
Apart from dust, obviously.
What are we counting as phobias?
Stuff you're scared of.
Well, because that's different, though, isn't it? A phobia is something different.
Okay, a fear. Fear, phobia, whatever.
Because I don't think I have much phobias of, do you know when people have, a phobia of, loads of little holes together? Or, you can have a phobia of beautiful women.
That's just me, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gay. It's a joke. All right. And I hate
That was
women.
a bit aggressive.
Well, actually, no. Did you see?
That was really aggressive.
I'm gay. All right. No. Actually, you just reminded me. I did a video on my YouTube channel. There's the plug. There it is. Ladies and
gentlemen.
I've just realised we could get that on a T-shirt when we do merch, because we've been talking about ideas, stupid ideas for merch in the original take.
We're not getting your YouTube channel on a T-shirt, Harvey.
I think we should. I think that'd be hilarious. I have a YouTube channel.
You're not getting any more plugs than what you do.
Oh, okay. I won't plug my YouTube channel or my Facebook page or my Twitch page. I won't do that.
You're fucking ridiculous.
I am.
Because you've just done it. You've just plugged the fact that you've got all of these social media sites.
Yeah, but they don't know what they are. They don't know the fact my Facebook page is Harvey Entertainment. They don't know the fact that my Twitch is Harvey_Wood. They don't know this. All right, Sam. Anyway.
Bloody
the
hell.
point I was trying to get. I did a video on the YouTube channel and to plug the podcast. And something more important happening. I plugged the podcast and I said it was quite funny. I said I'm doing a podcast with my best friend Sam. I overemphasised the word best friend ever, and that anecdote sounded interesting in my head, and saying out loud it's rather boring. I'm not gonna lie.
Was that about me?
Yeah, I was talking about you. I was like, my best friend, Sam. I was like,
yeah.
Okay,
that's about that was about me or not?
Yeah. You're my best friend.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're my only.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that. I'll add some sad music.
Just because you're editing. No, the problem with you editing the podcast now is everyone's going to be like, I could tell when Harvey's editing the podcast, and I can tell when Sam's editing the podcast, because Sam puts effort in. Harvey doesn't.
No, I think I'm not going to put more effort in than you. I just got. Obviously, this is a special, so I think more time could be put on it.
Yes, we're going to do a little bit more budget. Is going to go into it.
The fact that it's a special, I'm not trusting Harvey with it. No, that's not true at all. That is far from the truth.
It's far from the truth. It's because after this, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, Harvey's going to bed.
I'm going to beddy poos. So, yeah. Anyway, so fears and phobias. That's what we were talking about beforehand.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid of spiders. That typical fear. Petrified of clowns. Can't stand them. Honestly, I can't. I don't know what it is about them.
It's because it's called chorophobia, and it's because it's not really them. It's a mask. It's why people have a fear of masks. Chorophobia is a fear of masks. So it's the same reason why people are scared of puppets, and because it's one face that doesn't move, because obviously it's a painted face,
and they're always happy.
And they're always all right. Unless you're a hobo clown, which is a type of clown, I should explain. People who know clowns will know what I mean. But if you look at hobo clowns, they're known for being depressed.
Are they the ones with the sad faces?
Yes, they look homeless. They're like over exaggerated homeless. They've got it's painted on. They've got. I'm trying to describe it. I don't know how to describe it because obviously all clown faces are different. But the common one is white lips, and their beard is brown.
Oh. That even just imagining a person.
They've got the red nose and eyes and stuff. So they are a clown, but they've obviously been a clown on hard times. So you can imagine what they were in good times, kind of thing. So a hobo clown usually has a story to them, which to me is boring. I'm joking. I watch a show called Slava's Snow Show. And they didn't have to be clowns, but they are clowns. And it is, I urge, if it comes to, go and watch it. It is...
Absolutely not.
It is a, without sounding like a homosexual, it is a beautiful production.
Absolutely not.
It is, you love it. I'll send you a video of it, because it is...
No, please don't. Please, genuinely don't, because I promise you I will not watch it.
Bitch. I work as a clown.
They genuinely... Yeah, but the difference is I know you.
Fair enough.
I don't know the guy that's going to be running up towards me trying to laugh in my face.
I think what doesn't help, and the other problem that doesn't help, is how clowns are portrayed in films. So Pennywise, Krusty the Clown is a negative influence, because not all clowns are alcoholics. See, I don't drink. And Pennywise, who else? Who else is a scary cat? Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You know, they're terrifying.
I think it's because they're easily portrayed.
Yes, because they're a known fear. That's why old horror films work, because they play on fear. You know, the fear of the dark, the fear of something sudden happen. That's why jump scares. But jump scares are the easiest one. Everyone does jump scares. You know, that's why I don't like the Conjuring films, because it's just jump scares.
Yeah. What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of? I can't do the woman joke because we've already done it. I don't know. I can't think of anything. I used to have a massive fear of the dark. I couldn't walk alone in the dark on my own. Like, I have occasionally done it, like, for a YouTube series called Night Hike, if you want to see what I'm like in the dark.
It's a good series, by the way.
It is. He's only saying that because Light now own the rights to it, so...
It's a good series. No, it is a good series.
It is. It's a good idea. Series 1's crap, but it's a good series. Anyway... But yeah, I don't know.
Fears are different, aren't they? Because when you think about fear, you think you're not afraid of anything.
That's one thing I get nervous about. I get really bad stage fright. Really bad.
But is that a fear, or do you think people get stage fright because do you think that's to do with like a judgment of character?
I think it's the audience. You're just worried what the audience are going to think.
Yeah. Like,
you're worried, the audience is going to think I'm crap. Especially, that's why comedy is very difficult to do. And you hear a lot... I don't actually hear a lot of comedians that suffer from depression because they're so terrified. You know, Lee Evans, for example, he was petrified. That's why he was sweating so much. You know, he was known for his sweating because he was terrified. He gets absolutely nervous because you've only got one thing to do is make someone laugh. That's why I don't do stand-up, of the thing of just a mic. I'm a comedy magician, so I do magic and stuff. So I've got something else there. That wasn't a shameless... Ooh, I just hit the mic. I do apologise, viewers. That's not a shameless plug. There was a point to it. There was a reason for me to shamelessly plug. But yeah, so I have a prop there. I have something else to do, which a lot of comedians hate because they think it's a really lazy way to do magic, but comedy. But yeah, so I have props there. So if a joke isn't working or a routine isn't working, I can just dive straight and finish the trick.
Yeah,
that joke isn't working.
I think as well with that, you can also make it funny, can't you?
Yes, and my comedy's situational, so things going wrong. Right, let's stop shamelessly plugging me. But yeah, so yeah, the routine, the vanishing bandana. Well, that's going to be funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
The vanishing bandana, if you want to see it, is on my YouTube channel. If you want to watch it, there's the shameless plug for you.
You do a lot on. To be fair, speaking about your channel, you do a lot of things for Halloween. You obviously you normally do your annual Fright Nights.
Yes, I visit Fright Nights because I love it there. I didn't visit this year because of COVID, which I'm gutted about because it's a brilliant year, especially a year to film because obviously it's all zones and stuff and you can film in the zones. Unless you go to the press night, which I am desperate to go to press night. You're allowed to film in the mazes on the press night. And but I don't know anyone that work at Thorpe Park to get me there. So anyone, if Thorpe Park are listening to this, we're both me and Sam would love to come to the press night.
Man.
You've been to the press night, haven't you? I think you went to the press night last year. I think it was the press night you went to last year. I remember you telling me you went to. I think you went to the press night or the opening night, maybe.
I went to the opening night for public. I didn't go to the press night though.
But yeah, you're allowed to film in the mazes there, and it's I love Thorpe Park Friday nights.
Yeah, they are good, aren't they? And they've definitely done well this year, I think.
Looking at it this year is genuinely. I couldn't do scare acting. Well, actually, no. Could you do scare acting?
Well, I think I could. Like, when I say it now, I'd be like, no. But I think, obviously, when you're with people that are doing the same thing, you put all those 2 weeks of training into it, I think you can. I think that kind of, like, changes your kind of perception on it.
I think if you're in an environment... I'm very much... with... Again, this sounds like I'm shamelessly plugging, but I have a point, which I'm probably going to forget. In the audition room, I'm crap. I am the worst thing ever. In the rehearsal room, I'm crap. But when I'm actually doing something in front of an audience, I'm actually good. So I think when you're actually doing it, I think you get the kick out of it. You get that adrenaline from them.
Yeah, maze is also another thing that I think I'm not afraid of. But then I'm genuinely petrified when I'm there.
Yeah. When you hear about them, you go, oh, that's terrible. Because me and Sam did a maze a couple of years ago, which is actually the last day we hung out before he moved away. He left me, called Torment over in Portsmouth. And it was all right. At the time, I came out and thought, well, that was a bit rubbish because I didn't understand what was going on. It was scary. It looked amazing. It was a good maze.
Yeah, there's just no story.
It was no story. It wasn't until afterwards, until I did research in it, because I'm a nerd. I'm a theme park nerd. So I researched into it and I went, okay, I can sort of see it. Basically, it was a house. I should explain. It was a house. The foundations have been discovered and there's secrets within and there's ghosts and shit. But there was a point. I think, Sam, you were with me at the point of this where we got lost in the maze.
In the potato sacks.
Potato sack. And we got lost. We were there for like 5 minutes. And to the point, one of the actors had to come in going, wrong way. You've got to go through that way. Yeah. And it was just like, this is awkward. And one of the characters broke, but they didn't need to break. But it was like...
Yeah, it wasn't exactly like a...
No, it broke. It wasn't
a high production thing, was it?
It wasn't high production. It was done by Wave 105, but one of the actors broke on... right at the end, there was a really enclosed bit, and the actors would jump out at you. But there was a point where my friend Ben, who was with us, stumbled a little bit, and he grabbed the first thing to it, which was an actor. And the actor, out of character, just turned to him and went, don't touch me again. And that was the last thing he heard before he left. And I was like, you didn't... He stumbled. It was clear he stumbled. He wasn't grabbing him or anything. He was clearly just putting his hand on him. You know, I would have just turned to him and like, yeah.
It must be frustrating as well, I think, for like scare actors, obviously, because you probably do get those knobheads that
you do
touch you or try and put you off and things, which, judged by, we weren't one of the first groups in. We were fairly quite late to it. There's a lot of people were there before us.
He was probably fed up, and my friend Ben was probably the last straw. So I do that because I did scare acting once for Halloween. And yeah, not for like a Halloween maze. It was outside my front garden on trick-or-treating. But I dressed up in a cloak, which is my dressing gown, and put a mask on. And just sat there on the bench outside my house, and people come up, but I wouldn't just as soon as they come up jump out of them. I'd wait for them to get their candy. Sounds American. Get their candy and everything. Get their sweets, nice. And then leave. That's the worst American accent. Don't go nice. They then leave. Like there's a joke in one of my films called The Twin Dilemma, which is crap. Don't watch it. Where I make a joke saying that American accent sounds so fake. The reason I put that line in there is because my American accent is shit. Anyway, so the people would walk away, and whilst they're walking away, I'd jump out of them. And as soon as the door closes, I jump out of them, and then they run away. But I didn't like it because the first time I did it, I made a kid cry. So I took the mask off and go, I'm so sorry, and we gave them all another sweet because I just felt so bad. But that's why I couldn't do scare acting. But I tell you one story. It was the best bit of my life, which I think I see why scare actors do it. This woman came up to me, thick as pig shit, I swear. Came up to the door, looked at me and went, "Oh, that model's very good." I thought, wow, my acting was good. And I thought, I'm going to wait this one out. She comes up to me, knocks on the door, gets the sweets. While she's waiting there, gets the sweets. The door closes. Now, I didn't jump out straight away like I was meant to. I waited for the moment. They were there. They did some spiel. They went, "Look at this model." I think they even took a photo with me as well. And there they are. They eventually leave. And as they were leaving, halfway across the driveway, I jumped up and ran after them. The blood-curdling scream that came was worth the swear words and offensive comments that came afterwards. Which is, I see why scare actors do it. It's because that moment I just went, I loved that. But she was like poking me and everything, going, "Is this real?" And I was
She
like,
didn't realise at all.
She didn't realise that I was a person. But I'm like, what alien or what creature in a film wears a dressing gown?
That's really funny.
It is.
Yeah, I've never done anything. I don't think I've ever done any sort of like Halloween thing.
You've script writed, but obviously that was for kids, so you didn't have to make it scary. But
yeah, I've show written for Halloween, but in terms of, obviously I'm currently writing a film.
yes, well, we're allowed to shamelessly plug that because it's part of the company. But if you want to see a little bit of behind the scenes of Sam's show writing for Halloween, you can watch a show which I can't remember the name of on Channel 5. What's it called?
I can't remember either.
It's some behind the scenes of Legoland, episode 3. There you go. I can't remember the title of it. I feel so bad
Life
now.
at Legoland?
I think it's Life at Legoland or something like that. Anyway, you were saying, I interrupted you.
I don't know what I was saying.
Neither do I. You've show written for Legoland. Oh, we're writing a film. Visitant.
Yes, we are writing a film. I think that's kind of the most Halloween-y thing like spooky. I hate the thing like spooky.
It makes it cheesy, doesn't it?
Dark, yeah, type of dark thing, which is what this whole thing is about. Which, planning, COVID depending, of course, a touch wood. That slap was me touching my head, by the way. Touch wood, this film should be coming out in 365 days.
Should be.
That's the plan.
That's the plan, but let's be honest. With the current restrictions.
Yeah, with the current restrictions, not too sure.
But we hope to.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the plan. But yeah, that's not a promise, that's a plan.
That's not a promise.
It's a plan. But yeah, I've made that mistake a million times of promising something and then not fulfilling.
Yeah. I think now is the wrong time to promise anything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Like, all right, I'm going to do it. There's a live stream I'm doing on the 15th of November.
Oh, here we fucking go.
Right, but that was made, and I planned that, and I announced it in September, and then I'm doing it in November, because the plan was that was going to be the last live stream I'm due. Because I thought, COVID will be done, or eased enough by then.
Yeah.
It's not, and I'm like, do I cancel it? Or do I just do it anyway? I'm doing it anyway, but on 15th of November, 3 p.m. On the Harvey and Sam Facebook page. But yeah, train of thought's gone again. So yeah, but I that was the plan. I even spoke about it in previous streams, saying, yeah, we're gonna have this big stream and the final one.
Yeah.
And then
it is a shame, but I think the good thing for us, and in terms of like light and completely going off the subject for Halloween, I think it's good for us because I think we've been able to grow our online presence a lot. I don't think without this lockdown we wouldn't be here recording this podcast.
Oh, definitely not. I think the podcast was originally created because of lockdown. It was like, this is something we can do during lockdown.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything beforehand, so...
Not at all, no.
By the way, I should explain to viewers coming in, Light is the company that Sam owns, I'm a part of, and it's a creative media production company that could suit all your needs and stuff like that. So I should explain, just in case someone's coming in and going, what the hell are you on about? I noticed that in like the previous podcast. It's like we mentioned light, thinking everyone will know, but yeah,
that's true.
That I should explain. I know it's in the bio, but who reads bios? So yeah, So I should explain. That's what light is. That probably wasn't the best advertisement for it, but
it's right. It's fine. There will be a new advert coming out for it soon as well, by the way.
I think we should have, because we should have an advert for light in the podcast, like at the end or something, or in the middle of it, like an audio one.
That's a good shout.
That is a good shout. There we go.
That is a good shout. I just want to say really quickly, thank you to everyone who has followed us on all of our social media sites. We're slowly growing. We're getting there.
It's doing very well.
I think our previous stats, we've had 136 people start listening to the podcast.
We did, yeah. I just farted again. That probably came up on camera, so you had a backing track for that. Just saying, it was a loud one.
But yeah, so we both really appreciate it. We are dedicating more commitment and time into it, not just production-wise, but post-production as well.
Yeah.
This one has just been a little bit of a scatty recording, so we apologise that it may not have been completely Halloween-y, but we both love Halloween, but we don't love it in the sense we're not going to pretend that we're petrified of everything when we're not, just to get more
ghost believers
and things.
Ghost believers and stuff. Although we are looking at ghost hunts, doing a ghost hunt thing.
Yeah, we're not.
But we're not saying anything else on that because we don't know when the fudge we're doing it.
It's a secret.
Yeah. So don't tell anyone.
See, even in this episode, you give it ASMR. Is that what it's called? ASMR?
Yeah. I don't know what it stands for. What does ASMR stand for?
Acute sounds metaphorically recorded.
I was not expecting
That's not it. No.
Oh, okay.
That's not it at all.
That probably is it. Right, I want that to go. That's something for everyone to send in.
Another T-shirt.
What do they... That wasn't what I was going to say. They should send in what they think ASMR stands for.
But they might know.
Oh, well, then that's what we want to know. So, yeah. They can tell us for next week.
They can, yes.
Oh,
and you can tell us by following us on all of our social media sites.
Not for next week. They can tell us for the week after, because we haven't recorded an episode already for next week. We have done that. That's
but yeah, so you can always check us out on all of our social media sites. Harvey on Twitter and Facebook, myself on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm Instagram as well.
Private. You do have Instagram, sorry.
Yes.
And you can follow Light on Facebook and Instagram, and follow the podcast on Twitter, and follow Light Creative as well on Twitter also.
They'll be all in the bios.
More of our social side to Light.
Yes, should we say the
more casual,
the informal side of Light? Is that the best way to put it?
Yeah, the more informal side. But thank you everyone for listening. Don't forget to follow, share, whatever you can do on wherever you're listening.
Let one other person listen.
And
let's have two listeners.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.